Hello and welcome to Military Mantra. In this interview, we have today Brigadier Charandeep Singh, Sena Medal. He's a sixth generation soldier, retired, and now a special DIG training in Assam Police and also trains the Assam Police Commandos. So thanks a lot, sir, for coming on this interview, accepting the invite, and welcome to the session, sir.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you so much.
So, sir, if you could briefly tell us, about yourself before we go ahead.
Yeah, Akash, like you already told the audience that I'm a sixth generation soldier. So I am an infantry officer. I got commissioned in August 1988, and I served in Assam Regiment, an uh, infantry regiment, that is Assam Regiment, consisting of troops of all seven sister states, northeastern states. And this is the same regiment in which my father also served and commanded a battalion, and grandfather also. So I was the first third generation to have commissioned into Assam Regiment. And thereafter, after 33 years of my service, I retired in October 2021, and in June 2022, I joined Assam Police as special DIG training with the mandate to train Assam Police. So I'm located in Lachit Barphokan Police Academy in a
Okay.
place called Dergaon, which is about 20 kilometers short of Jorhat, between Kaziranga and Jorhat. And last about 1.5 years or so, we've been able to train many thousands of police constables, both uh, uh, armed and unarmed, and also raise 5 new commando battalions for Assam Police. So right now
Mm,
I'm training about 1900 recruits from Manipur Police. And
un-
in my army service, I have had multiple deployments in Kashmir. Also commanded a Rashtriya Rifle Battalion for 3 years plus. That is 59 Rashtriya Rifles. In fact, today is a very auspicious day. Today my battalion completes 20 years since its raising.
okay.
And so I was the number 2 CO. I took over from General Suchintra, who is right now the Army Northern Army Commander in Udhampur. So he was the first CO. I had taken over the battalion from him. So, and I commanded the famous Longewala Brigade. You would have heard about that movie,
Mm,
border movie Longewala. So I commanded Longewala Brigade, and I've also had a about 1 year stint in NCC as a group commander of South Gujarat in Vadodara, and I have served every part of the country. Mostly been in Northern Command in JNK. JNK, I've seen every part, operated in every portion of JNK, and between joining army and after leaving army and joining Assam Police, I had about 3 years, 3 months
mm,
experience of a new startup company where I was handling the operations
mm.
from Jalandhar. So I had that experience also. A very short experience, but very informative and educative. So that's all about me.
Understood, sir. So if I can take you back, where your journey started. So if you could describe,
Yeah,
how was your life before joining the Indian Army, and what was
yeah.
your motivation to join the forge back then?
Akash, I was basically in our times. I mean, there were not many distractions, especially of social media. So we were born sportsmen. So we used to play every sports, and since the inclination was very clear to join army, so was a very kind of regimented kind of a life, even in college, school, and college. So I basically grew up with my grandfather, and my grandfather was a hard task master because he's been a trainer in army for a very long time. So he used to make us get up at 4:30 in the morning and then send us for a run, come back, change, and then go to school. And so that's how it carried. And so because of the regimented life, and it was it was not very difficult to have the transition when you joined OT uh, academy. But apart from that, was also college life. I could, since didn't join NDA, came
Mm,
through short service commission. So lucky to have seen the college life also, so which I feel is very important also.
understood, sir. So if you could describe, your experience in the service selection board, and what tips you'd like to give to the aspirants who would be, appearing for
Yeah.
SSBs.
So I got a call from at Allahabad. This is Allahabad, and we went there, and that was the only SSB I appeared in. I was lucky that I got through in the first shot, and then medicals also there was no problem, and then we joined the services. But that time also a lot of people used to carry out preparation. I remember these one or two academies used to be there in Chandigarh, if I'm not wrong, where Panchkula or Chandigarh, where people used to go and train for SSBs as early as the 80s, 1987, 86. Uh, but I have known a lot of people, including my very close people to me, whom I got them trained also in those academies. I have made them sit down with my friends who have been GTOs, who have been interviewing officers. So they've groomed them, trained them, but still they go back and they don't get selected. So I very strongly feel that getting through an SSB is basically your own personality, your own the way you're structured. Uh, so you cannot hide your traits. If you have a little bit of traits, so there is nothing called negative traits or positive traits. There are certain traits which we require for soldiering, and there are certain traits which are more essential for different fields also, like in corporate or somewhere else. So so I won't say negative or positive traits, but if you don't get those maximum of those traits which army is looking for, so a person gets rejected. I won't say rejected. He doesn't make it. He doesn't get selected for the army, but he's rejected. It's not rejected. That's a wrong word to use. There's so many people who have not been able to join army. Include advice to all the people out there who are appearing for SSB is that be very natural and don't have a false front and don't make up things and go there trying to project something which you are not. So what I'm trying to say is that if you put up a facade or a false front, they're going to see through it,
Mm.
and that is how the rejections take place. If you are what you are, you go there and be very natural, work on certain things like showing positive or be always positive. That is one. Second thing is a teamwork. uh, Always be a team man or a team person. It is never about I, it's always about we.
Mm.
And this is what I've learned throughout in my army service. It's not मैंने किया है, नहीं हमने किया है. So that is what is ingrained into us after we join army also throughout our service. So keep those things in mind and go with a smile and a lot of positivity. I'm sure anybody who does that will make it
Understood, sir.
if he or she has those traits what army is looking at.
Understood, sir. So we hear about those officer-like qualities, OLQs, that are looked into. So now you have
Yeah.
been an officer, you're retired now. How do you look at those officer-like qualities and how those qualities can be developed?
Yeah. So Akash, the word officer-like qualities, what I usually call them leadership-like qualities or leadership qualities. So these are the qualities what a leader must have. So I don't like to use the word officer because a leader can be anybody. Leading a group of people. So and these qualities are equally applicable in any field. So so what you're looking at is a lot integrity, loyalty, and empathy towards your people, and setting example. And I'm going to talk about something which people don't talk about much. Is something called extreme ownership.
Hmm.
So extreme ownership is something which I practiced. In fact, there's a very nice book also on it written by two Navy SEALs
See.
who are ex-Navy SEALs who are teaching extreme ownership now into the corporate world in US, and they are basically giving a lot of examples of their operations in Afghanistan where they practiced extreme ownership, and that is how they could turn around a defeat into a victory. So extreme ownership basically means is that within an organization, whatever happens, good, bad, ugly, you take ownership for it, right? You don't put blame to your team. for example, if something goes wrong in an office, so you then your immediate boss gets after you. So 80% people are going to make excuses and tell the boss that mera galti nahi hai. It is this guy.
Hmm.
He's not been working well. So what extreme ownership means, then you stand up for that person. You sort out him later. Then you tell him, sir, it is my fault. I failed. My team failed, so it's my failure. But we will look into it and we'll turn around. So you take the blame. So the results are fantastic. You earn the respect, the trust, and love of your team. And anything can be turned around when you work together.
Hmm.
So this I practiced in when I was commanding my battalion 59 Rashtra Rifles in the most rugged and volatile area of Kashmir, that is the Pir Panjal ranges in high altitude. And we were going through a rough patch. Everybody was after us, and things were going wrong. But I practiced this when my seniors asked me, the corps commander, the army commander, they asked me. So I stood up and and I told them that I have got full faith and belief in my team. And within 1 year, we had turned it around. And then within next 12 months, we won one Kirti Chakra and one Shaurya Chakra and 14 Sena medals. And the
Nice.
battalion did extremely well. So entire life I've been practicing. So what I will say is that apart from that, practice extreme ownership. This,
Hmm.
if you practice extreme ownership, there is no requirement of any other trait. If you some get about 20 traits of leadership and you put them together, it becomes extreme ownership.
Hmm.
So that
Understood,
is
sir.
what my take is on
So if
officer
you
like qualities or leadership.
got it, sir.
Yeah.
So if you could speak about, your experience in the academy when you went to, officer training academy, how was that? Any memories that you have from that time which you would like to share?
The only memory I have of academy is always running, right? It started with running towards the officers' mess to have breakfast, and running from there and to the training area, again running for lunch. At night, after sleeping, also they used to make us get up and make us run all over the place. And there was too much of ragda, which I believe has now for good reduced a little bit, but it was basically lots and lots of physical ragda. And we had joined Chennai somewhere in month of I think September. So the weather of Chennai in month of
Hmm.
September is hot and humid. It's sultry. It's bad. But we never knew. We used to call it ragda, but we never
Hmm.
knew that that training of by our immediate seniors and the instructors uh, was basically to shape us into what we became later on. Uh, that is a very fine officers in Indian Army. So that is vividly I remember that. I remember my instructor later on. He became a general and retired. Cyrus Ade Pithawala.
Hmm.
He was a captain then, and Ashoka Chakra. So a very good mentor we had. I remember my drill ustad. Uh, he was a Naga. I've forgotten his name, but vividly remember because he was no nonsense type. He gave us again a lot of ragda. Akash, what happens? Any instructor which gives you ragda, you curse him
Hmm.
when you are training. But those are the people you still remember after 35, 36 years of service. Because those are the people who actually shaped you
Hmm.
into what you become later on, what you are today. And I remember my adjutant, Colonel Major Shekhawat, that time used to come on a horse. So these are the memories we have. And of course, I have memories of Chennai, going out on Sundays, on outpass, uh, eating South Indian food, and then coming back to the academy. So these are the memories I have.
Understood,
Yeah.
sir. So after the OTA, you had joined the Assam Regiment. So if you could speak about,
Yeah.
your motivation back then to join the Assam Regiment.
So Akash, my motivation was to join my father's and grandfather's regiment, but I also wanted to join special forces. So I had applied. I mean, put in a request for one first para, one para. So that time they were not called special forces. They were called for one para
Commando.
commando. And they were in Sri Lanka, and but mm, you never got direct postings then. You had to join a battalion, then apply for it, and then come and go, do your probation for 3 months and then get selected. But that was not accepted by my regiment. They didn't want to leave me being a third generation, so I could never get a chance to join para commandos. But so I joined my battalion at Assam. Uh, so motivation was, you see, Assam regiment is very unique. So you have Nagas, you have Mizos,
Hmm.
you have Cookies, you have Maitais, you have Asmis, Bodo, Kachari, Arunachalis. So all tribes of uh, seven sister states are there, right? And they, most of them are, I mean, these people come from a very rugged, tough area, and they are fantastic soldiers.
Hmm.
So wherever the battalion has gone, they've done extremely well. And since I had grown up with these boys, so it was very easy for me to adjust once I joined. So motivation is that it was a parental claim. There's something called parental claim.
Yeah.
So if your father is commanded a battalion, then you can put in for a parental claim, and then you get the same battalion.
Hmm.
So I went in for a parental claim. So I got uh, it is Sam. They're
Answered,
called,
sir.
they're known it. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you could also tell us, when you were a young officer and you went into combat for the first time, right? So how was the your mindset back then? And then how did it evolve when you went into the other combats eventually?
So about combat, we were prepared in academy only. The reason being, we had this op pavan going on in Sri Lanka.
Hmm.
So so even in OTA Chennai, where we were staying, the airport was very close by, and we could see IL-76 landing and A-32s landing and taking off, troops coming and going to Sri Lanka. And one of my seniors, very close friend, uh, Lieutenant Rajiv Sandhu, a course senior, he had joined 7 Assam. 7 Assam is again my regiment. So we lost him. He got a Mahavir Chakra
Okay.
uh, in in uh, in Sri Lanka. So we were mentally combat ready because we knew that we were going to land up there. And when I joined 8 Assam, my battalion was also earmarked to go to Wavonia, joined one of the brigades there. But the battalion was in east, and they were already in in active operations in Tirupura against a group called TNV then. So
Okay.
we landed up there. So we had a first. You're talking about first combat. So first combat is basically it's a utter chaos and confusion.
Hmm.
So but then the training is something within chaos which uh, uh, pulls you through out of all the troubles, or prevents casualties. So so if you're well trained, you can, nothing's going to happen to you or to your men. You just follow your basics, and that is how it goes. Last thing is about fear. I won't lie. Everybody shit scared for the first time. It's usually with experience that the fear, uh, actually, Akash, fear should not create convert into panic. The
Hmm.
moment there is a panic, then there is going to be chaos.
Yeah.
तो डर सबको लगता है जब गोली चलता है, कोई बोलता है मुझे डर नहीं लगता, तो he's telling a lie. So it
Hmm.
doesn't happen that way. But with your training and with your experience, you control it. That is how it goes. And person who says he's not scared and he's going to get up and charge and fire, and so those people are can create casualties for others also.
Hmm.
So generally a good soldier will use his mind. He'll take cover, he'll take position, assess the situation, return the fire. So the fear factor, what I'm talking about, is a very common thing. It's very natural, and it is required also. So
Hmm.
if you don't have little bit of fear, you will not take cover, and if you don't take cover, your men will not take cover, and then you'll
Hmm.
get shot and get people also killed. So there is no point. It is better to make the other guy die
Hmm.
uh, rather than you losing your own people. So, so this is how the combat goes. About the fire, once you are fired upon, the sound is totally different, because most of the time you are firing, at the range,
It-
the sound of
Hmm.
the AK or any rifle is different. But when it is being fired at you, the sound is totally different. So that is how it goes. Yeah.
Understood, sir. So what was your favorite weapon back then when you were, going to combat?
It's always been AK-47. I raised a project in Indian Army called FNSAS, that is
Yeah.
Future Infantry Soldier Resist System, and I had an opportunity to go as a speaker and a delegate to London in a conference called Soldier Technology Conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone and seen all weapons in Israel, in Italy, in UK, and in France and Israel. So also met the guy who designed Tavor rifle. Met him in Tel Aviv. I've mostly fired any weapon you can imagine, and I've fired everything. But I come back to AK-47. That's my favorite weapon.
And
Reasons: there are a lot of tolerances built in that weapon. And incidentally, I was G1 Weapons and Infantry Directorate when
mm,
of the project. I worked a lot with the DRDO and other labs also across the country, including Rifle Factory Chicago. So what I feel is that there are a lot of tolerances built in this weapon, and in the sense it doesn't jam, it doesn't let you down. It's not a very accurate weapon. If you call about accuracy, it's not a very accurate because the weapon has got open sights.
mm,
So with open sights are basically used for quick engagement, for quick alignment, and then firing. In fact, in SAS is much more accurate weapon than AK.
mm,
But talking about reliability, like it's a fantastic weapon. It's not going to jab, so it still remains my favorite weapon. I Before I retired, I did not find any other weapon which could compete with this, right?
understood, sir.
And you must remember that it's a Avtomat Kalashnikov only in Afghanistan,
Mm,
which those guys are still using. And I think this is the most used weapon all over the world right
yeah.
till today. So it's a very potent, and the caliber 7.62 into 39 round is a very potent, balanced kind of ammunition, and it's not an overkill also. So
Mm,
it still remains my favorite weapon as far as rifle is concerned.
mm,
And as far as pistols are concerned, my favorite is Glock,
yeah.
Glock 17.
Okay.
That remains my favorite. Yeah.
Got it, sir. So, if you could also tell us, when you join the Assam Regiment as an officer, so how does your role, responsibility, and routine look like on any ideal day? If you can describe that.
See, in a peace station, you are basically training whole day. If you're in a company, then you're training with the men. So any infantry battalion, they go to peace area for two years so that their families can move with them. They can stay with their families, and they can put the children into good schools and have some quality time. And all, but that is a time where a good commanding officer will also utilize to train, because
Mm,
you do not know after that where you're going to land up. You can go to Siachen, or you can land up in deserts, or you can go anywhere, or into thick counter-terrorism operations. So you're always training. Apart from that is the routine administration and documentation, then meshing with your team, your company, your platoon, your troops. You're playing games with them, doing PT with them, right? You're also socially interacting with other officers, their lady wives, and because in infantry battalion is like a big family.
mm,
We we even after retirement we still touch. We are still in touch. We have a WhatsApp group called Headhunters, because that is what it is some used to call them. I still call them headhunters. They are in so we are part of that WhatsApp group. All veterans. We are still in touch. We even after retirement, people who were my senior, they retired. We attend their weddings, we attend their all their important functions. So it's a lifelong connect. So what I'm trying to say, it's a big, huge family, right?
mm,
Like even today in Dergaon, retired Assam, 8 Assam Havaldars, Sipais, Chasios, they keep on coming to meet me. And whenever I'm traveling, I stop over at their villages, go and meet them. So this is a way of life. This
mm,
is something which cannot be explained so easy. So I mean, you forget your own families. You forget your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your schoolmates, your classmates. and then you get transformed into this because this is your family. This is because you're always together. When we are out deployed in operations, in an operational area for say 2 years, it is the families who are together at specific places. They take care of each other, so the bonding is very strong. So routine is training, uh, administration, looking after the logistics, then looking after each other, sports, interacting. It's a within that area, the four walls of an infantry battalion, whatever space they are occupying, is a different world inside.
Mm.
It's totally different.
And
So you have to experience it. So I mean, I don't know whether I'm able to put it across, but it's a it's actually a different world. It's a
understood, sir.
fantastic world. I miss it more now after
Yeah.
retiring.
Good, sir. So, sir, from your experience in the Indian Army, if you could tell us, any three life lessons that you learned which you still cherish, what would they be?
So Akash, basically, Army has what I have learned from Army is basically only the best life lesson which I've learned from Army is that failure is not an option. So never give up and always be positive and practice extreme ownership and teamwork. It's always teamwork. So these are the lessons I've learned from Army.
Understood, sir. So, now that you work with the Assam Police and also train the commandos, so how has that experience been, training the
Yeah,
commandos? Yeah.
they are very good. They're
Yeah.
very good. The boys are very pepped up. They're very tough, and the way Assam Police is one for the recruitment, uh, they they have recruited fantastic youngsters. They're physically very fit, very well motivated, and even the instructors in Assam Police. I was quite. I won't differentiate any. I won't see any difference. I don't see any difference between them and the army instructors. They're very good. So only thing is that we are just guiding them how to go about it, and they are actually doing a fantastic job. We had a passing out parade reviewed by Honorable Home Minister,
Okay.
and they slithered down from ALH. They went for a house clearing drills. It was actually par excellence. The standards were too good. So they are good. Actually, they are good, and I'm very happy that and I'm very fortunate that I'm training this group of youngsters who are so motivated. Our commando girls also very fit, very motivated, extremely motivated and very fit. So
Uh,
very good experience.
Got So, sir, my final question to you, what will be your message to all those aspirants who wants to join the forces?
Yeah, my message is that armed forces is not a job or a profession; it's a way of life. It's like what I explained that now I have more affiliation towards the battalion even after retirement than the family. So it's a way of life, and if you're ready for it, you will have no regrets. It's one of the best professions in the world, and and uh, and now you are very lucky that the salaries are also quite okay, and you're pretty comfortable. You lead a very good life, and my message to everybody is that go with an open mind and don't try to put a false front or try to show that you're somebody different. Just be yourself, and if you have to if the luck favors you, you'll get into army.
Got it,
Okay.
sir. Thanks a
But
lot, sir.
once getting
Yeah,
into
yeah.
last point is after getting into academy, a lot of people give up. Don't do that.
Mm,
Don't if you get into army, I mean, army will push you to the brink where you say I quit. Don't do that. Once you join, with great difficulty you join, continue and be a good soldier. That's what my message is. Thank
understood,
you.
sir. So, thanks a lot, sir, for joining this session and
Thank you.
sharing your experience. I hope a
Thank
lot
you,
of people
Akash.
will get motivated. So, thanks a
Yeah,
lot again, sir. Jai Hind.
thank you, Akash. Jai Hind. Thank you, Akash.